The thing people compliment you for the most, your calmness, your independence, your humor, your I don't need anyone. That's not who you are. That's the wound you learnt to wear as a personality. You know that friend who's always the strong one? The one who never cries, never asks for help, always has it together? Or the one who's just really funny, always cracking jokes, even in serious moments? Or you, maybe. The independent one. The one who says I'm fine so often it's stopped meaning anything. We call these things personality traits. We say things like, that's just how I am. But what if none of that was ever you? What if it was something you built to survive something else? Here's the uncomfortable idea. Most of what we call character was never designed in a moment of freedom. It was designed in a moment of pain. Think about it like this. A child learns, very early, what gets them safety and what gets them hurt. If being needy got them ignored, they learn to stop needing. If being emotional got them punished or mocked, they learn to stop feeling, at least out loud. If being invisible kept them safe from conflict, they learn to disappear in a room full of people. If making people laugh kept the peace at home, they learn that humor buys them love. None of this is conscious. No kid sits down and thinks, I will now construct a coping strategy. It just happens, quietly, automatically. And it happens so early and so consistently that by the time you're an adult, it doesn't feel like a strategy anymore. It feels like you. That's the trick. A defense mechanism, repeated enough times, stops feeling like defense. It starts feeling like identity. Psychologists have a phrase for this, character armor. The idea is simple. The traits you think are just your personality are often armor plating built around an old injury. The calm one? Often someone who learned that emotions caused chaos, so they shut the door on their own feelings to keep everyone else stable. The overachiever? Often someone who learned love was conditional on performance, so achievement became the only language they trust. The funny one? Often someone who learned that if the room laughs, no one looks too closely at what's actually going on underneath. The I don't need anyone person? Almost always someone who needed someone, badly, once, and no one came. Isn't that strange? The things we're proudest of about ourselves are often just old wounds, dressed up and given a job. Here's where it gets even stranger. You'd think that once the danger is gone, once you grow up, once you're safe, once the people who hurt you are no longer around, the armor would just fall off. It doesn't. Because the nervous system doesn't update on logic. It updates on repetition. You can know, intellectually, that you're safe now, that nobody's going to punish you for crying, that nobody's going to leave because you asked for something. But your body doesn't believe the news yet. It's still running the old program, because the old program is what kept you alive. This is why smart, self-aware people still struggle to change these patterns even when they can name them perfectly. Naming a defense mechanism doesn't remove it. It's not a switch. It's a groove, worn so deep into you that even when you try to walk a different path, your feet slide right back into it. And here's the part that really reframes everything. The problem was never that you built these defenses. Of course you did. They worked. They kept you functional in an environment that didn't give you a better option. The problem is that you never got the memo that the emergency is over. So you're still bracing. Still performing calm when you could just be calm. Still cracking jokes when you could just say that hurt. Still refusing help you don't even need to refuse anymore. You're not weak for doing this. You're loyal to a version of the world that doesn't exist anymore. There's one more layer to this, and it's the part most people never look at. We don't just build these defenses. We fall in love with them. Because once a defense becomes your identity, protecting it feels like protecting yourself. So when someone says, you don't have to be so strong all the time, some part of you gets defensive. Not because they're wrong, but because you've spent your whole life being praised for the exact thing that's now being questioned. Letting go of the armor doesn't just feel vulnerable, it feels like losing you, even though, underneath it, there was always a you that came first. Before the armor, before the strategy, before the role you learned to play. Maybe the real question isn't, what's my personality? Maybe it's, what was I protecting myself from that isn't even here anymore? Because the version of you that people call strong, funny, independent, chill, That version was built by a smaller, younger version of you who was just trying to make it through the day. And they did an incredible job. But you don't have to keep hiring them for a job that's already done.